Hello, friends, family, enemies, whoever you are that might be tuning into this episode today. Thank you so much for joining in on another episode of the Iron Purpose Podcast. I'm thankful for you, thankful for the opportunity to be able to do this. Even if you weren't there, I'd still be able to do this. I'm happy to be able to just talk, get these thoughts out of my mind, stuff that I learned this week, and hopefully other people can get something from it as well. I want to preface this episode with the fact and the reminder that I'm not a professional in any of this stuff that I've talked about at all. I don't have I'm not a therapist. I'm not a physical trainer. I'm not a pastor, even though I am technically ordained. So if you do need a wedding officiant, let me know. I'll get you hooked up. We'll do it right. But that is beside the point. I'm thankful. We just had an awesome weekend, awesome 4th of July weekend. Even though I worked all of it, Friday to Sunday, work 12-hour shifts each day. It's kind of a bummer, especially when everybody else is out having fun. I'm a FOMO guy, especially when my family is involved. It's fun to be able to spend time with them, but we do what we got to do. We got to put our boots on and go to work, even on weekends. So it was good. I was able to get out with my family after work each day at 6. Got out there and got to be by the lake. Got to eat some good food, spend some good time with family. Spent a lot of time with my wife and my son, and I'm super thankful for that. Speaking of being thankful, I want to start the episode with some more gratitude. We got a patio put in at our house, and it took a lot of work. It was a lot of work. We had somebody come do it. We paid them to do it professionally. I don't want to mess around with that and have it all uneven and stuff. But they got the patio set, but then everything else was just dirt. And they planted grass. They're awesome company. Tom, I think it's Eagle View with Eagle View Landscaping. Don't quote me on that. I'll put it correctly in the comments. But Tom is his name. He was awesome, super cool guy, super awesome crew came in. They did great work. So if you want to come see it, if you want to come hang out, let's make it happen. We'll come chill on the patio, have a couple drinks, enjoy the summer sunshine while we got it. And the rainstorms, man, it rained and thundered and lightning again last night. But there's something really satisfying, really comforting to me in a storm in the rain. I got to sit out on my front porch last night and just kind of watch the street in front of me, the lights and everything with the rain coming down, even though it was a little sideways at times. Just hearing the rain hit the ground, hit the roof was super. There's something just super peaceful and satisfying about it. So that was pretty neat being able to just sit out there, watch the sky, watch the storm come down. But back to gratitude, back to thankfulness. With putting in the patio, there came a lot of different landscaping stuff as well. We had to piece it out, move the fence over, put in a lot of rock, dig all the sod out, and it was a lot of work. My back is kind of yelling at me this morning for it. But my father-in-law, Dave, he came over and he was the mastermind behind it all, other than my wife planning everything out. He helped measure it all out. We got the fence up together. We got the sod all out. We got the rocks put in. He was here both days that we did it, pretty much sun up to sundown, helping me get it all put together. I was more helping him do it. He pointed and I did it. We got the hard work all done. My mother-in-law was here watching Caden, our son, yesterday for a good amount of time. And even after we finished, I was ready to take him, and she's like, "No, go shower, and go get in a good spot, and then when you're all done, come back out, and I'll pass him off to you." So huge shout out to them. She ended up doing some dishes and some stuff around the house too while we were doing that. So like above and beyond people, both of them just really meant a lot. So shout out Dave and Jody, and then my brother Ethan came and helped out yesterday too. He put a lot of work in. He didn't do it for free; had to pay him, but he really helped out a lot as well. So gratitude today. I'm really thankful for those three people, particularly for helping out, and obviously my wife for all the work she put into it as well. So it was fun. It was good. Excited to enjoy that the rest of the summer. But think of stuff that you're thankful for. What are you starting your day out with? Gratitude. I got a couple things that I want to talk about today, and it kind of talks about shifting our focus, shifting our perspective, and not focusing on the bad things, the things that we're not looking forward to, but taking a time to think about what we do have and what we are thankful for, especially with 4th of July, Independence Day, what we are thankful for, what we do have, and what it took to kind of get that. It's not always easy, but perseverance, resilience, it's going to get us through to the end, and we're going to be able to reap the benefits of it like we are today. So being thankful for the stuff that we have. I have a desk right here that I get to stand, and I get to talk into a video to people, whoever wants to listen. I get to vent that way. I get to get thoughts out, and I get to have a Bible right here with me as well. This is something that I get to just carry this around wherever I want. I could go onto the streets and I could open it up and read it to people as they pass by if I wanted to. There's some countries that don't get that opportunity. I got to be out at the lake. I got to be at the river with my family. I got to run around with my son and not be afraid of someone coming up and harming me or somebody taking that away from me. That was a safe place for us. That was a safe place. Obviously, if I was running around downtown Detroit or Minneapolis, like that'd be a different story. There's a lot of crazy people out there, so we want to be safe. But as far as freedom goes, I had the freedom. We have that property where we can do that, and I am truly, truly thankful for it. I had an episode planned for today, and I was going to record it yesterday. That's just what worked out for this person. But with the landscaping project, we needed to get it done yesterday, and we just couldn't find time yesterday to get it in. But we will be having an episode with a special guest here coming up soon. We just got to figure out another day, and we're going to talk about kind of the 4th of July, talk about UFC 250, Freedom 250. But to be able to talk about it in this perspective with everything that's happened since then, it's really exciting. I'm excited to get them on. So we'll get that in the near future. But today, I just want to be a short little episode here with just myself, kind of talking about some stuff that I had learned recently. Obviously, talk about the 4th of July that just passed and the gratitude that I have for the people in my life and the things that I get to do with this. But over the weekend, not everybody is celebrating. Not everybody is having a good time. Somebody is struggling with something out there, and it may be you listening to this. You may be having a tough day. You may be going through something really tough. But there was an individual, and the name hasn't been released yet, I don't think, as far as the press release goes. But just through the comments and through people, mutual friends and stuff, I figured out who this individual was. But over the weekend, somebody passed away. They got hit by a car in the area, and they were a younger person, younger than I am, and their life was taken. Life was taken away. I don't know the circumstances of it. I'm not going to get into all that, but just the fact that somebody passed away in this way is truly sad, and it kind of hits home a little bit. This individual had been incarcerated, I believe, twice since I'd been working at the jail. And so I've got to interact with them a little bit. They messed up, made some mistakes, and they were trying to do better. They talked about being in the gym, talked about just trying to get after it, get better themselves. I don't really know what their mental state was or all that they were dealing with, but I got to have a couple of conversations with this guy, and he was like, "Man, I'm ready to do better." And to hear that he is no longer on this earth is just it's sad, and it's tough. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow. Even if I didn't know this person on a friendship basis, even if I didn't know them super well, just interacting with somebody who was struggling and they were trying, and now he can't continue to do that anymore. This person can't continue to grow. He can't continue to battle what he was struggling. He can't look forward to the future of being the person he wants to be. And it's just, when I think about that, it's really tough, because it's like, what am I struggling with? Where am I falling short of my life? Where are other areas that I could start to fix right now, where I could do better right now, because we aren't promised tomorrow? And that's kind of the lesson that I got out of this is this guy was young. He's younger than I am. You still have your whole life ahead of you. Even at my age, you have your whole life ahead of you. And, that's what we think. We think that we have tomorrow to continue to get better. We think we have tomorrow to reach the peak of our mountaintops, of our struggles, of our adversities, of the battles that we're going through. We think that we have this time. We think we have the time to go hang out with our friends, and we think we have the time to, beat whatever it is that's got us down. And he doesn't have that anymore. And so that's really tough. That's why it's so important to enjoy or try to find the beauty in every moment. There are things that'll get us down. Obviously, nobody has a perfect day. There's going to be days where you need to just chill and not do anything and kind of reset. But to think that at any given moment, I could no longer be on this earth. My journey could be done, or a friend of mine, or God forbid, a loved one, family member. There's going to come a day where they're no longer here. We don't know when that is going to be. And not trying to get all down or depressing, thinking about all these things or talking about these things. I don't want to scare anybody or cause them a panic or to go into a depressed state thinking about when our end is going to be. But I want to encourage you. I want to lift you up and say, hey, we don't know when that time is going to be, so let's get after it right now. Let's try to be the best that we can be right now. Let's kick this addiction. Let's kick this adversity that you're going through. Let's get up and let's go to the gym. Let's be happy with who we are. Let's be healthy. Let's be let's get out there. Let's make friends. Let's be that friend for people. And again, you only have so much gas in your tank, so don't overdo it. Don't stress yourself out about what you could do more, but just think about which maybe you're doing less in areas and trying to fill that gap, trying to better yourself for the people that, aren't able to do it anymore. This kid was going to the gym. He was trying to better himself. He was struggling obviously with a couple areas, being that he'd been in jail a couple times, but he was still trying to put one foot in front of the other and repeat. That's what I tell people a lot in jail is, or just when they're looking for advice, it's you're not going to be able to take the whole thing and take it on all at once. Sometimes it's just piecing it away, piecing at it, chipping at it one step at a time, and taking that one foot, putting it in front of the other, and just repeating that process, because sometimes it can be really difficult. And that's a really good segue into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's when we are facing those difficult things. I've heard it said before, and if you've listened to this podcast before, you've heard it said that failure is an event, it's not a person. Failure is an event, it's not a person. That thing that you're struggling with, that season where you fell short, where you weren't able to complete the mission, you weren't able to achieve that goal. A lot of times people identify with it. They tie their identity to the circumstance of failure or falling short or not meeting expectations. Maybe you didn't get that sale. Maybe you didn't produce the way that you thought you would. You didn't get that championship. You didn't win your soccer game, whatever it is, whatever stage of life you're in. And then we take that failure, we take that event, and we identify with it. We think, this is a person, this is me, rather than thinking of it just as it's an event. It's not a person, it's not myself. It is a thing that happened to me. It is a thing that I have experienced, but is not who I am. And when it comes to facing, whether it's addiction, whether it's adversity, whether it's a trial, however you want to put it, however you want to say it, something that you are battling, a lot of times we do put that focus on ourselves. I was running the other day. I was going for a jog. I'm trying to get a little more in shape as far as cardio goes. My stamina isn't the greatest anymore. Cardio, we do not get along. So long story short, I was on the treadmill the other day just trying to hit a mile. That was my goal, hit a mile, and then we're going to hit a workout, lift some weights. And as I'm running, you start to think, if I don't have music going, my mind starts to think and I start to wander, and then I start to talk myself out of it. And what are those common words that you think of as you're doing something difficult? Maybe you're doing yard work. Maybe you're landscaping and you're doing wheelbarrow loads of rock, shoveling it out of the truck into the wheelbarrow, dumping it, and then shoveling it, spreading it out among the flowers, trying not to hit the flowers, and you're sweating. It's freaking 87 degrees, which I don't recommend. If you're gonna shovel rock, wait till it's a little bit cooler, or don't wait until it's 87 degrees out to do it either. But it's sweaty, it's tough, it's difficult, and I found myself on that treadmill thinking of things, these words that were coming up. I don't know if I could do this. I can't do this. Oh, I've got 4 minutes left before I hit that. I don't know if I could do this. You're sweating. You're identifying with it. It's something that I am no longer able to do. I am the problem here, is what I'm thinking. But if you could shift your focus to the event itself, I am running, and rather than saying, I can't do this, say, this is difficult. This is tough. This really stinks. But you just call out the event and see it as it is. Say, I see you there. This is a very difficult experience, but I'm going to keep going anyways. I have found a lot of peace. I found a lot of comfort and a lot of strength in that, rather than saying, I can't do this, or man, I'm not strong enough. I'm too tired. I'm this, I'm that. But rather saying, okay, this is really difficult, and I'm just going to embrace it, and we're just going to go through it. This is really tough, but so am I. So we're going to keep going. That failure, it's an event, it's not a person. This adversity, this addiction, whatever it is you're facing, this struggle, this uncertainty, this trial, this tribulation, this difficult time in my life, it's an event, it's not a person. I see it right here. I have identified the issue, I've identified the source, and now we can attack it head on. A lot of times when you talk about mental health struggles, when I was facing a lot of anxiety a couple years ago, one of the things that they talked about was identifying it. Okay, what are the things that trigger it? And when you can see the trigger, when you can see the wound, when you can see the issue, you can diagnose it. You can apply corrective measures to it. You can apply a plan. You can apply this battle plan to this. Hopefully, find a solution to fix this problem within your mind. And similarly, I was talking to my brother the other day about it. If you have a vehicle and the engine is giving you issues, or it's bogging down and it's not running properly, You're not just going to go, oh, maybe we need to fill up the tire. Oh shoot, that wasn't it. Hey, let's put some oil in it. Maybe we'll, all right, oh, well, that didn't work. Let's put some new windshield wipers, or hey, let's go into the engine, let's change out the spark plugs, or let's, get a new battery put in here, whatever the case may be. Typically, you're not going to do that. You're going to want to go to the source. You're going to want to find out what the issue is. I bring it to the professionals. They plug it in, they run the diagnostic on it, they go, okay, this is the issue. This is what we're going to do. We're going to fix it here. Sound good? You're like, yep, here's my money, take it, fix it, and we'll be off to the races. Similarly, from what I'm finding is when a struggle comes up, if it's you have an anger issue, you have again, you're struggling with an addiction, maybe it's drinking, maybe it's the endless items of what could be on this adversity list that you're struggling with, that you're having a tough time with, that it's just kicking you while you're down, kind of things going on in life, is similar to running a diagnostic on a vehicle. You're going to not to just try to start throwing things willy-nilly at it. And a lot of times that's what we do. Again, you're running on that treadmill and you're saying, I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. I can't face this. And we just start throwing these things out there and start identifying with it. And I think it makes it more difficult because all of a sudden the issue is us and not this thing that's wrong with our car, wrong with our engine, wrong with our life. The situation that's coming out, when we identify it, when we see the enemy, it's a lot easier to pull out the sword, put on the gloves, whatever that looks like in your life, take out the weapon, and we're going to take this head on. This thing is very tough. What I'm facing is extremely tough, but so am I. I want to encourage you to look at it with that perspective of, I have got this. I can do this. What I'm facing is difficult, but it's not impossible. And even if you got to bring other people on to help you out, and this is just another roundabout way of trying to figure out how to battle adversity in your life. I had individual on a couple weeks ago, and he talked about how do you eat an elephant? What's the best way to eat an elephant? And he said, one bite at a time. Sometimes you're gonna have to bring your friends out to help you out. Sometimes you're gonna need a little catch up, is what he said. But it's one bite at a time. You walk into a gym and they have free weights, dumbbells, and if somebody were to say, "Hey, lift all that weight," you go, "I can't do that. I can't. I'm not great at math. I can't add all that up anyways." Walk up there, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the 5 pounds, you're gonna start curling them, then you're gonna work your way up to the 10s, 20s, 30s, and find different ways to lift them. But you're not gonna lift the whole thing right at once. It's just gonna be one step at a time. It's gonna be taking it one foot in front of the other and repeating. That failure, that adversity, that trial, that tribulation, that addiction, whatever it is that you're facing, it's an event. It's not a person. It is tough, but so are you. So when that thing comes up, when that engine light starts blinking, I want you to say, this is difficult. This is extremely difficult. This is tough. And it's okay to think that. It's okay to think that whatever you're going through is really tough and it's not fun. And sometimes you are going to fall short, but it's not you. You're not the failure. It's you just maybe didn't complete the mission. But if you can enjoy the journey along the way, it's a lot easier to find the wins. It's a lot easier to continue on next time. When you say, hey, I fell short, I didn't get that win here, but it's okay because I have these different things that I'm thankful for, and I'm able to apply what I learned and move forward into this next season of my life. So I want to encourage you to try to have some gratitude, like we talked about in the beginning of the episode. Find some things that you're thankful for and say it out loud. I want you to be able to enjoy life. And this is a lot of me telling myself these things because it's stuff that I want to focus on and stuff that I want to continue to do, to grow and to enjoy life, to take on life with a smile, to be able to spend the time with my wife, my family, my coworkers, my friends, whatever that looks like, and not be so hard on myself. Because like I talked about with this individual who passed away in this car accident, life is short. He was 27 years old and he's no longer able to continue the life that I get to live. I get to keep moving forward. And I don't know when my torch is going to be snuffed out. I don't know when my number is going to be called. I don't know when it's going to be time for me to move into the next life. Like I talked about before, I don't know when it is going to be the last time I'm going to be able to do a lot of these things. And so we have to do it right now. We can't put it off until tomorrow because we may not have it tomorrow. And then looking at those difficult things as an event, not a person. When it pops up and when you start to struggle, when that anxiety comes up, when you see that thing that reminds you of whatever difficult thing that you have to go through in your life, saying, okay, I see you, this is really difficult, but I'm gonna persevere, I'm gonna continue on. Not saying I can't do this, I can't carry this, I can't do this, but looking at it, identifying it, and taking it on head on. I've been finding recently has been really helpful. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's things that come up that make me upset or they start to get me down, I start to get into this spiral of negative thinking. I say, okay, this isn't fun, but we're gonna get out of this. So I just want to challenge with you with those today. Hopefully you learned something out of it. If you, again, I say this every now and then, if there's something that you have that you want to share with others that you want to get out there, that's how we learn. Different perspectives is how we learn. So if you have a story that you think people can learn from, or you learned something recently that you want to share, that's what Iron Purpose is all about. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So when we can get out here and we can talk, we can listen to other people's perspectives. And I've spoke about this too in our impact program at the jail to some of those guys. It's, I'm just a guy just like you, just trying to figure out life. I'm not a professional in any of these things, but the more that we can talk about it, the more that we can learn. I can learn from this guy who grew up over here and had this lifestyle, this upbringing, and I can learn from this person who is this X amount years older than I am, or X amount years younger than I am, and have fresh perspectives on different things that I've faced, or even just new advice on how to maneuver through different things that life throws at us. So with that, thank you for tuning in. This is Iron Purpose. Stay sharp, everybody.